Ciao belli, ben ritrovati, it's been a little while. So, my husband and I recently got the elusive 100% in Tears of the Kingdom, and those last few percentages were a real pain. We follow many interactive maps and videos, and often we found that information was missing. So today I want to help out any other completionists by explaining what you need to get and some of the things that caught us out. Now, just to state, when I say 100%, I'm talking about the percentage in the bottom right of the map, which will only appear once you've defeated Ganondorf. This percentage is made up of a number of things across the map, which you need to unlock. Each of these will contribute towards 0.04% of the map. So let's have a look at what they are. We have 152 shrines, 120 Lightroots, 15 Skyview towers, 14 main stables, 4 great fairies, 12 Tears of the Dragon, 30 device dispensers, 2 tech labs, 7 bargainer statues, 1000 Koroks seeds, 147 caves, 58 wells, 2 crystal refineries, 11 forge constructs, any other special shops such as the Sansia rental shops, Chasms, and finally any settlements and named map locations. Now, looking at that, it probably sounds pretty overwhelming, and to be fair, it is, because there's a lot to do. I'm going to cover some of the basic ones before delving into the tricky stuff. Let's start with shrines and Lightroots. So, you probably already know this, so ignore me if you do, but in case you don't, every shrine on the surface has a Lightroot in the exact same location underneath it in the depths, and vice versa. There's 120 shrines on the surface to match up with the 120 Lightroots in the depths, and there's a further 32 shrines in the sky, which obviously don't have a connecting Lightroot. I'll show you a brief view of the shrines and Lightroots here, but most of these are fairly easy to find if you take the time to explore the map. The Skyview towers are also quite easy to locate, as you can see them as you explore, and same with the stables. Most of them are in the same locations as Breath of the Wild if you played that. The only exceptions are the stables in Lookout Landing, Speak to the Guide by the South Gate, and the mini stable on Dig Dog Extension Bridge. 4 of these stables of course have the Great Fairies nearby, but again I'm sure you probably got these naturally through playing the game anyway. Tears of the Dragon are the large geoglyphs that you can see on the ground from the sky. These are pretty easy to spot and you can activate them by finding a little puddle that looks like this. Device Dispensers. Now, this one actually caught us out. You need to make sure you go right next to a dispenser to activate it. You don't need to actually use it, you just need to be next to it until the icon appears on your map. There are 2 in the depths, one by Goron City Chasm and one by the Construct Factory Wellspring of Courage. There's 3 on the surface, one by the Tari Town construction site, one by Dig Dog Suspension Bridge, and one in Kakariko Village. Lastly, there's 25 in the sky. Most islands tend to have them, just make sure to thoroughly search each one and to go close to them to get on the map. The 2 tech labs are pretty easy. Like in Breath of the Wild, one is in Ateneo and one is in the top right corner of the map. 7 bargainer statues. Now, there's 1 on the surface in Lookout Landing and 6 in the depths. In the depths, there's 1 under Hyrule Field, as shown here, 1 in each wellspring, so you'll find 1 in the Wellspring of Power, 1 in the Wellspring of Courage, and 1 in the Wellspring of Wisdom. There's also 1 under the Forgotten Temple, and 1 in the Great Abandoned Central Mine. I covered this one in great length in my Secret Heart Stamina upgrade video. Now, the things that takes up the biggest chunk of this percentage by far is the Koroks. 1000 Koroks at 0.04% each means that they make up a whopping 40%. Almost half! I'm not going to try list them all in a video format, as I don't think that would be the most productive way to help you. My advice is to look on the interactive map on the Zelda Dungeon website and tick them off as you go. It's by far the best and most efficient way to get them all done. Now, let's talk about caves. There are a lot of caves, some of them also in the sky on the Great Sky Island. A top tip, you can drop some fruit in the bowl under a cherry blossom tree to reveal all of the caves with pillars of light for a short time. Probably the most important thing to say about caves, which caused us issues, is that some caves have multiple entrances and each entrance counts towards the 0.04%. So I'm going to list all the caves with more than one entrance right here for you and show you where they were. When visiting any of these caves, make sure to find the extra entrances. Let's start with East Byron Snow Shelf, which has 2 entrances. Next, we have the Ebros House Summit Cave, also with 2 entrances. Ancient Altar Ruins, 12 entrances. Now with this one, you don't necessarily need to go through all the caves. Once you get down, just stand next to the Falling Sun and you'll be able to unlock them. Moving on, we have some more caves with 2 entrances. Gerudo Canyon Mine, Gerudo Sanctuary, Kukot Ploto Cave, Mount Namoru Cave, Kora Lakefront Cave, Kalora Lake Cave, Mount Dansel Cave, Mount Floria Cave, Red Sun Forest Cave, Whatnot Mountain Cave, Lanari Rodis Cave, Saasra Slope Cave, by road to Lanaria Wetlands. Then here you have Bon Pond East Cave with 4 entrances and then Tabal Woods Cave with 3 entrances. Back to the one with 2 entrances and we have Rally's Channel, Upland Zorana By Road, Upland Zorana Mountainside Cave, Pristine Sanctum, Uria Grotto East Cave, Construction Site Cave, Lake Verona Cave, Crenel Peak Cave, Ranch Ruins Cave, North Hyrule Plain Cave, Pikida Stonegrove Northwest Cave. Lastly, we have the Royal Eden Passage with 3 entrances. Are you still with me? Good, because I really struggled with that. Moving on to 58 wells. These can be found by stables, villages and other random places across the map. These aren't too difficult to find. Forge construct and smithing constructs with any of the large mines, by which I mean the ones under the villages, for example Kakariko, Lurelin, Ateno, etc. There will be a forge construct there. Make sure to interact with a robot friend there so it shows up on the map. You'll also find a couple of these on the Great Sky Island, as well as special smithing construct at the Spirit Temple. Again, make sure you interact to activate. Chasms! Now, some of these are super easy to see, but there's a few which are pretty hidden. The ones that spring to mind for me are in Rito Village, Zora's Domain, the island on the left of Hyrule Castle, and this little chain of islands. The Rito one is hidden inside this tiny cave on the side of the village as shown here. The Zora's Domain one is hidden behind a waterfall right near the bottom of Zora's Domain. Then we have the Hyrule Moat East Chasm here, and lastly, the one on these islands is hidden here inside this cave. Finally, the name settlements and name map locations. This one really just means you have to explore the whole map. I'm giving you guys a brief show here, but let me highlight a couple of hidden ones. In the depths, the Dracozu altar is probably the most hidden. It's behind this waterfall by the Wellspring of Courage. You need to make sure you find every mine and every grove here. Mines are found underneath either villages or mountains, so can be easy to locate. Groves can generally be found under any forest as shown here. As for the surface, the ones that really stumped us were in the castle here. The East and West Passage especially. The East Passage can be found here, and you can find the West Passage here. But also, the King's Study is pretty hidden. To find it, you need to move this bookcase in the library in the castle. And then the sky. There's a couple of things to mention. This one here, the Sky Mine, will only activate after you complete the puzzle with getting the ball up top inside the sphere, so make sure to do that. Also, some of the archipelago locations, such as the North Akala one, activate when you fly across. So we had to fly to this lone island with a construct on it to get to unlock it. But other than that, just make sure to visit every single island and you should be fine. Well, that's it. I hope this helped any of you guys chasing the 100%. Let me know if you managed to get that elusive 3-digit number in the comments below. As always, I've been Babza Jr. Thanks for watching and ciao for now.